What's up, Cards Chat? Jeff Gross here, and I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts about the last hand of a tournament and how sometimes this is often not the most important hand and why you shouldn't get hung up on how you get knocked out of a tournament. All right, let's take my most recent live tournament, which I had a bit of an unfortunate ending. It was a WPT $3,500 buy-in at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel. A really good turnout of players. I think they ended up 106 ended up cashing, and I got 120th place. And I get knocked out with a very unfortunate situation, having pocket aces, get all in against a friend of mine, Aaron Massey, not to be confused with his brother Ralph Massey, who had pocket kings. So pretty standard situation. It's a cooler. I was on the right side of this with aces. I ended up losing to pocket kings. We got it all in pre, and very, very frustrating to bust. 14 off the money, essentially bubbling. I think there was like 830 entrants. So, really very deep part of the tournament, and obviously to get your money with per se the nuts before the flop and lose is not fun. Now let's just understand what that looks like. So it's very easy to just go back and say, well, I got really unlucky. I lost with the aces. At the time, I think I had about 12 blinds, so I had like 60,000 chips. It was like 130,000 chip pot. Would have been very healthy back in the game. But, you want to look at the other hands, the other spots, the other blind-on-blind confrontations that you maybe folded, or you made a bad call, or you didn't shove when it folded to you, and you had ace-7 on the cutoff when, you had a certain stack size. So, a lot of times in poker, I think it's really important to understand that your last hand is not the most important hand. And when you lose a hand such as aces to kings, or you lose ace king to jacks, some of those high I want to say exciting spots, right? The big hands, the hands that are just going to absolutely play themselves out and there's nothing you could do different. These are not the spots that you necessarily want to be diving deep into and dwelling on. It's very frustrating, of course, to go and share with your friends or family or people that bought a piece and, I got unlucky and look, I lost with the premium holding. But you really want to be looking at spots you can control, that you might not always play the same, and that you are going to look at spots where you want to try to improve, or when you're unsure of what the right answer to do is. This is something very valuable to look at and dissect. And again, the last hand is usually not the most important hand. Those hands play themselves. If you make a big mistake or a spot where you're really unsure and you do something close, sure, you can look at that. But I just want to remind you that it's important to look at all areas of your game, that little hands, little pots, a couple blinds here, a couple blinds there add up in a huge way. And generally, that is where the game is won and lost, not on those cooler situation aces to kings, or coin flips that you just can't avoid when you have a huge pair, or ace king or ace queen suited versus a jacks type hand. So that would be my advice to you. Best of luck, and I hope that helps.